It's very rare that we hear good news from the FAA. Most of the time, they're in the headlines for causing problems and delaying SpaceX's attempts to launch the Starship rocket. But this time, we actually have some positive news from the FAA, and it could mean big things for SpaceX and the Starship program. We'll break it all down in this video. Before we delve any deeper, please make sure to subscribe to our channel for future updates about Starship and SpaceX's other groundbreaking achievements. SpaceX and the Federal Aviation Administration have often been in disagreement. Their differing priorities have led to public clashes, especially as SpaceX pushes for rapid innovation while the FAA focuses on enforcing regulations. Musk has been especially critical of the FAA, arguing that their processes are outdated and hinder progress in space exploration. In 2024 alone, the FAA grounded SpaceX's Falcon 9 rockets multiple times. One example was in August 2024, when a Falcon 9 booster toppled over and caught fire during a landing attempt. The FAA halted all Falcon 9 launches until SpaceX investigated the issue, provided a detailed report, and proposed corrective actions. The FAA insisted that launches could only resume after it approved SpaceX's findings. Another incident occurred in September 2024, involving a malfunction with the second stage of a Falcon 9 rocket during a NASA mission. The rocket's second stage failed to relight its engine for a deorbit burn, causing it to re-enter outside the designated safety zone. This mishap prompted the FAA to issue another grounding order, delaying subsequent launches until SpaceX addressed the problem. Earlier in 2024, the FAA also proposed over $600,000 in fines against SpaceX for launching missions with unapproved changes. These fines were related to a June 2023 launch that used an unapproved control room and skipped a required safety check, as well as a July 2023 launch that involved a new propellant system that had not been pre-approved. The FAA stated that these actions violated the terms of SpaceX's license and were serious enough to warrant penalties. In response, Musk publicly criticized the FAA, calling their actions excessive and accusing the agency of slowing down progress in the space industry. Musk also announced that SpaceX would take legal action against the FAA, claiming that the fines were politically motivated. In the past few months, the FAA has shown improvements in how it handles SpaceX's requests, and the latest announcement highlights this progress. Just one day after SpaceX successfully completed its sixth Starship flight test, the FAA approved a major change that could accelerate the Starship program. The FAA has now granted SpaceX permission to increase the number of Starship launches from the Starbase facility in Texas, raising the annual limit from 5 launches to 25. This decision is a significant step forward for SpaceX, as the company aims to make Starship the most frequently launched rocket in history. The FAA is responsible for regulating all space launches in the United States to ensure public safety, protect the environment, and enforce compliance with various national and international requirements. Previously, SpaceX operated under a permit allowing a maximum of 5 Starship launches, 10 Starship landings, and 5 Super Heavy booster landings per year. However, SpaceX's ambitious goal to ramp up operations to 25 launches annually required the FAA to re-evaluate its permit. After conducting a detailed review of the environmental impacts, the FAA concluded that SpaceX's proposed measures to mitigate potential harm to the environment were sufficient to approve the increase. SpaceX has already been working to address local concerns and minimize its environmental impact. For example, the company has reduced the amount of time roads near the launch site need to be closed for pre-launch activities. Compared to the first Starship test flight, SpaceX has cut road closure times by 85%. This improvement is partly due to moving some of the pre-launch operations to facilities located farther away from the launch pad, reducing the disruption for the local community. Additionally, SpaceX is planning to build a water pipeline along Highway 4 to reduce truck traffic. This pipeline would supply water for the launch pad's deluge system, which is critical for cooling and fire suppression during launches. Without the pipeline, the number of truck trips to transport water, liquid oxygen, and methane would increase from around 6,000 trips per year to 24,000 trips. These efforts show SpaceX's commitment to balancing its rapid expansion with the concerns of the local area. At the same time, Musk has announced significant upgrades to the Starship rocket and its Super Heavy booster. The next version of the rocket, referred to as Starship 3, will feature major improvements in performance and capabilities. The thrust of the upper stage will double compared to the current version, and the booster's thrust will increase from approximately 74 million newtons to a staggering 200 million newtons. For comparison, this makes Starship far more powerful than any rocket ever built, including NASA's Saturn V rocket, which was used during the Apollo missions. With these upgrades, Starship will be able to carry larger payloads, travel farther into space, and do so with greater efficiency. SpaceX is currently facing significant challenges related to the noise and pressure generated during Starship launches. Studies have shown that the noise levels during liftoff are much higher compared to SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket or NASA's Space Launch System. For instance, the noise from a single Starship launch can be equivalent to the combined noise of 10 Falcon 9 launches. These elevated noise levels pose risks to nearby communities, such as Port Isabel and South Padre Island in Texas, where buildings could suffer structural damage and residents may experience disruptions like rattling windows and sleepless nights. Local wildlife may also be impacted by the noise and vibrations. The problem is expected to worsen as SpaceX ramps up its launch frequency, with plans to conduct up to 100 launches annually. These concerns have led to scrutiny from environmental groups and local residents who fear the long-term impact of increased noise and pressure. SpaceX may need to explore new noise reduction technologies or strategies to address these issues. Without solutions, the company risks facing delays or opposition that could slow down its ambitious plans. Despite these obstacles, SpaceX is moving ahead with preparations for its 7th Starship flight. This test could take place as early as late December or January. The quick turnaround time between Flights 5 and 6 shows that SpaceX is improving its operational efficiency. However, since the Starship rocket design has been updated, SpaceX may need a modified FAA license before Flight 7 can proceed. The FAA has already confirmed that the events of Flight 6 were within approved limits, which is a positive sign for future launches. SpaceX's goal is to achieve 25 Starship launches per year from its Starbase facility by 2025. This increase is critical for meeting several of the company's objectives, including deploying more Starlink satellites, supporting NASA's Artemis program, and conducting future missions to Mars. Meeting this goal will require SpaceX to address current challenges, including the noise concerns and other environmental issues, to ensure continued regulatory support and community acceptance. In addition to managing these challenges, SpaceX is working on major upgrades to the Starship rocket. The next version, known as Starship 3, will feature substantial improvements in power and performance. The thrust of the upper stage will double, and the Super Heavy booster will see its thrust increase from around 74 million newtons to 200 million newtons. These upgrades will make Starship the most powerful rocket ever built, capable of carrying larger payloads and reaching deeper into space. This enhanced capability will be essential for SpaceX's long-term goals, including crewed missions to Mars. That's all for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. See you next time.